All right, good afternoon, Urban Faith. I am so glad to have with me today Father Joseph Philippe from Haiti. He is doing amazing work with his organization APF, as well as other organizations he's founded over the course of 35 years. Tremendous work, there's tremendous need, and I'm so excited to talk to you, Father Joseph.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Alain, I want to congratulate you for the great work that you are doing at UMI. And I want to take this opportunity to send my greetings to Jeff, the CEO, and Sherry, the CFO.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And so my first question for you, Father Joseph, is can you tell us a little about what APF is and what you all are doing, this ongoing work in Haiti?
Yeah, thank you for this question. As you know, APF is the Association of the Peasants of Fondois. We call the peasants the farmers. The peasants are the farmers. They are involved in farming production and animal husbandry and small businesses. But you know, I had the privilege to be educated here at CTU, Catholic Theological Union. After being ordained in 1988, I had the opportunity to go back in Haiti, and I have chosen to stay in the country and to give back. And APF so far is the first organization that I have founded, and which is also the basis of my work. And the mission of APF is to reinforce the local grassroots organizations to create wealth in their home communities. And by wealth creation, we're talking about job opportunities and business opportunities. And we think that each community in Haiti has resources that can create jobs and businesses for the people. And after APF, I have founded APF was in 1988, Foncosé, the largest microfinance institution in 1994. And then a few years later, I have founded a religious order for women, the Sisters of Saint Antonio of Fondois. And in 2004, I have founded at the University of Fondois. And as you know, Haiti has about 572 rural communities. You know, they are like counties. And but those communities, we call them also communal sections. But when I talk about communal sections or rural communities or just communities, it's the same thing. You know, they are left out. Most of the times, they are not on the national budget. They are left out by the government. Even the international organizations which work in Haiti, most of the time they don't work, you know, with the local grassroots organizations. That's why, you know, but before saying what I was going to say, it's the Haitian population is very young. You know, we can say about 60% of the population are young people who are less than 20 years old. That's why my main focus is on the young adult, you know, to empower them so that they can become job creators and also builders of their country, you know. Yeah. And in the past 35 years, I have sent more than 50 young people outside of Haiti. For me, that was a test, you know, to see if the young people will choose to stay in the country, to participate in the reconstruction of the country. And I have sent some of them in Trinidad, in France, in the US, in Brazil, and in Cuba. But, you know, we can say 95% of them came back. And currently the president of the University of Fondois is one of them, you know, somebody who has been sent to Cuba, and he came back to work with us. I mean, you know, it's a guy who didn't have opportunity when he was born, you know, because his parents couldn't take care of him. And he was at the orphanage of Fondois with the Sisters of Fondois. and he went to her kindergarten, elementary, high school. After that process, we sent him to Cuba to study agronomy, and he came back. He served the community, and after that period, he went. We sent him to Brazil to have a master in agronomy. And this guy is about 35 years now, and he's the president of the University of Fort. This is
Wow.
the way we empower the young people, to give back, to appreciate the opportunities that they have received and to contribute to something which is greater than them, And we have a lot of stories like that. But currently, as you know, we have our president who has been assassinated on July 7, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And even though our former president, Mr. Jovenel Moise, he was a criminal, he was a gang member, he was a bad guy. But the way he was assassinated was very shocking, because he has a huge bodyguard, to provide security to him. Like if somebody comes to your home, they have to knock and wait for you to open. But for him, the, uh, uh, the killers, they just went to his room and killed him, and left out. But that's very sad.
Yeah.
And on August 14, we have a huge earthquake happen in the south side of the country, and we're talking about Jeremy, which is in the Grandas area. Jeremy is like Jeremiah, Geremie.
Yeah.
In Okai, which is the south, and another a state or geographical province, NIP, NIPPS. But those places have been very have been damaged a lot.
Yeah.
So far there are more than 2,000 people killed by this earthquake, and that happens on Saturday, and on a Monday, the 16th, there was a hurricane. That means it's really too much. We don't know, Mother Nature has something with us. They are testing us,
Wow.
But the fact is, currently we are creating a kind of relief fund to help the people to get back their own dignity, to go back to a normal life. But first, we're going to do that with other organizations, because APF doesn't like to work in emergency relief. That there are organizations on the ground which are going to provide water, healthcare. We want to work with them. But for us, APF wants to work on the long term, like giving opportunity to the victim to have some income. There is something they use in Haiti, they call it cash for work. It's like, you hire the people to remove the rubble from the earthquake.
Yeah.
And in a public place, it can be in a church or a school or a community building, and then we give them a wage. And that's about, $5 a day for somebody. Like if you give a job for somebody for 1 week, that will be about $25. But $25 now in a week for somebody, it's a lot of money, especially when you have nothing, and we might need to find people who want to sponsor a worker in that sense, to provide a job to a victim of the earthquake. And if you want to help us to provide job, let's say to 1,000 people, do in a week, and you give us $25 for each one of them, and that's one thing. And also we want to get involved, when I say we, it's APF, to get involved in housing. When somebody, especially when you have a poor family who has lost their home, this is a big investment they have done, in many years, but to have it lost, it's a big challenge, you know. And that means there are houses which have been destroyed completely, and there are others which have been damages. You know, the same way, you know, and to repair a house for somebody, it might take between 2,000 and in a 2,000 and 2,500. But to build a home, to rebuild a home, it might cost about 5,000, you know. And those are the 4 areas we want to work on. You know, it's access to water, to work with others, other organizations on in the field, you know, to provide water to the people, and also access to healthcare. But for us, in the long term, we want to help the people. Most of the times they have a water system, you know, in the home to collect either rainy water from the roof of their home, or to collect spring water. But most of them has been destroyed during the earthquake. We want them to rebuild those things, or if it was damaged, to repair them, you know. And those are the things we want to do. But as you know, in the long term, we, especially in thinking about rebuilding the country one community at a time, we are looking for groups, you know, institutions, churches, which can sponsor one community. You know, we have 572. That means it's to help us to identify existing resources in this given community, to keep the resources there, to create job opportunities and business opportunities for the people in the community. And the main actors of that will be the young people, the young adults, you know, because most of the time after high school graduation, they have no opportunities. You know, we want them to work together with this leadership unit. We call it LDC, local development committees. You know, that means we take, we select the actors of development in the community. We give them the skills to sit down together, to look at the community as one body, to address the problems and to find out the solutions. And part of the solution is, it's number one is to accept to work together, to look at for the greater good of the community. The second thing is to provide the community of a group of, a small group of professionals working permanently in the community. That's why in this strategy, we select two a young adult women, you know, to high school graduate, you know, to send them to the university, and we take one young adult, you know, one man, a young adult, you know, to send him to the university to be trained, and all of the three will have to come together, to come back together to the community and work with the leadership team, the leadership unit, you know. And those high school graduates selected who are going to be trained at the University of Fort they are coming back to work with the leadership team, the LDC, and to make sure that they don't become unemployed professionals. They become job creators. And by working with their LDC, their leadership unit, you know, to make this happen. But it has a cost. You know, it has a cost, but I have shared that already with UMI, and we have a brochure about that. You know, if people want to know more about it, we'll be pleased to share that with them. And you know, also we have a website. It's apfhaiti.org. APF, A like Apple, P like Peter, F like Frank, Haiti, .org. You know, people will find more information. And we might have also this brochure of the LDC program annexed in the website.
Sounds great. And you talked a little bit there about the putting together those leadership teams, why is it important to do this work sustainably, in a way that's ongoing and long term? Can you talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about why that's important and what the
Okay.
impact is?
Yeah. First, if the farmers could have worked to improve their living conditions without any professional assistance, they would have done that already.
Mm.
The second thing is whenever you have something to happen, you need people who have the will, who have the knowledge and the type of spirituality also, to make it happen. It's
Mm.
like, we are in a family and the house is dirty. Everybody is talking about the necessity to clean the house.
Mm.
But if there is nobody who can say, let's move, let's start to do something, and then in a few minutes, or it might be in one day, the house will be clean.
Mhm.
And everybody will be surprised to see that the dirty house becomes a clean house,
Mhm.
And that's why also we think the work that we are doing is really to rebuild Haiti from the ground up,
Mm.
and that means it's like a beautiful building when the country is rebuilt, but, in a nice construction work, there is water, there is wood, there is iron, there is cement, but, you don't see whose one is the cement, whose one is the iron, whose one is the water or the gravel, but you see the beauty of
Mm.
the building. And
Yeah.
that's what we want to do. But unfortunately, we find more people inclining to get involved in emergency relief
Yeah.
rather than getting involved in economic sustainable development.
Yeah.
Because what we are doing, it's more challenging.
Mhm.
It's more challenging. After the hurricane in Matthew, in 2016, in the same area which is devastated by the earthquake last week,
Mhm.
we have selected, in order to test our program, we went to those those places which were very affected,
Mhm.
and to create this type of leadership unit, to invite the community leaders to get around the table, to accept to work together and to create this leadership unit. And
Mhm.
then, we were very blessed. We have an organization here. uh, I think it is, I'm not, I will encourage people to help them. It's Julian Grace Foundation, which is in the area of Illinois. They have helped us, to pay for the scholarship of 15 young people,
Mm.
but 10 of them, not 6 of them were from those two devastated area in
Mm.
Jeremy and
Mhm.
in Okai. And those students, they are very close to finish. And I just received a note from this leadership unit, which has been working there for many years. And they said, we have so-and-so in the community, which who has his house damaged, and so has his house devastated, and so has lost his crops, and so has lost his animal. But, first, we need access, we need to get help to get access to water, to get access to tap, and then to have more resources to rebuild our community,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's amazing. Together we can become miracle workers.
Yeah.
When we realize that on this planet Earth we are just passing by. The beauty of life, it's what we can do for others. To make to empower them. To transform their lives, and also to teach them to give back.
Yeah.
Because it's like Jesus, he will ask us, whatever he will tell us, whatever you have done for the little one of my brothers and sisters, you have done it to me, and whatever we can do for somebody today, we have to do it. We have to open our hearts in order to help. And also, since you are involved with young adults, We in Fort in my work, we have a volunteer program, where young people, I'm talking about university graduates, people, students, those who are preparing for their master thesis or their PhD thesis, to come and work with them. And don't say that to them. There are times we do also some matching love, They come to work as volunteers and they find their mate soul.
They find soulmates.
Yeah, a few years ago, we have a girl from California and we have a French guy from France. They met together in Fondrois, they fall in love and they get married.
Oh, wow. I love it.
We have a lot of nice stories like that.
Yeah.
And there are times people, when they come at the end of their program, they come here, they write books about their experience because it's overwhelmed, because there is a huge spirituality behind this type of work. When you choose to go outside to another country to meet other young people like yourself and to share with them what you are, what you have, and to help them to be more confident in themselves, you will realize that your own lives is changed also. I'm going to start with the story of this woman, when I said to her, I was praying to the Holy Spirit to come, to send me somebody to lead the microfinance bank for me. And when I have, somebody has sent her to come to work with me, when I said, well, I shared this prayer with her, she said, I'm coming for 1 year and after that I will go back home. I said, don't go too fast because I have prayed to the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit has sent you to me. But this woman said, go to hell because, I'm not a church person. I've been divorced and remarried. There is no way for me, for the Holy Spirit to give me a mission. I said, this is your problem with the Holy Spirit. It's not my problem. I'm looking for somebody to assist me and you are there. And she stay in Haiti for 17. And she's the one who has really developed Fonkoze. And if you want to visit the website of Fonkoze, it's fonkoze.org. You will have a lot of beautiful stories.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know if you have other questions, but.
Oh, that's fantastic. And again, the links to the websites will be in this article. You can visit apfhaiti.org. You can visit and see about the University of Fondois. You can visit.
The University of Fondois is ufondois.org.
There you are. And I thank you again for your time, Father Joseph. Please, please support Urban Faith. Audience, support this work in Haiti, not only for emergency relief, but for the ongoing work to build up these communities, to help young people, and to allow Haiti to thrive and have its own wealth. This man has been doing it for many, many years, and we're thankful for your ministry and work, Father Joseph.
Thank you, Ellen. Don't give up. Keep up with the struggle and with your work.
Thank you.